Hallucigenia, the walking fever dream. If you designed an animal while half asleep and upside down, you'd get hallucigenia. It lived over 500 million years ago, and it looked like a worm wearing high heels, with spikes on its back and a face scientists originally thought was its butt. For decades, paleontologists literally reconstructed it backwards and upside down. Only recently did they figure out which end was the head, and even then, the face looks like a doodle a bored kid would make in math class. This thing is so strange, its name literally means hallucination. Nature said, let's make an animal, but make it look like a glitch in an old PlayStation game. Dunkleosteus, the chainsaw-faced fish. Imagine a fish the size of a bus, covered in armor, with a jaw that works like two giant guillotines. That's Dunkleosteus, a 360 million year old fish that basically invented the jump scare. Instead of teeth, it had sharp bony plates like built-in scissors, creating a bite force strong enough to slice prey in half. It could even open its mouth so fast it created suction that vacuumed prey straight in. Think of it as the Dyson of Devonian seas, except instead of cleaning crumbs, it vacuumed your entire existence. Arthropleura, the millipede from hell. Ever seen a little millipede in your garden? Now, imagine one the size of a car tire. That's Arthropleura, a 2.5-meter long millipede crawling through Carboniferous forests 300 million years ago. The good news? It ate plants? The bad news? It still existed. Picture walking through a forest, and this armored noodle slides by like it's late for a meeting. That's when humanity collectively decided to invent shoes and fire. All right, I will be posting more videos here, so slam that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This helps us to rank better in the YouTube algorithm. Helicoprion, the buzzsaw shark. If Tim Burton designed a shark, you'd get Helicoprion. Instead of normal teeth, it had a bizarre spiral-shaped lower jaw filled with rows of teeth like a circular saw. For years, scientists had no idea what this tooth whirl was for, or even where it went. Some early drawings put it on the shark's back like a buzzsaw fin. Turns out, it worked like an internal sushi slicer, perfect for cutting squid and fish. Imagine being its prey. 1 second you're swimming, the next you're sashimi. Opabinia, the five-eyed vacuum cleaner. If you thought one face was enough, Opabinia disagrees. It had 5 eyes and a long vacuum hose-like trunk ending in a claw. Basically, it looked like nature was trying to make a shrimp, then rage quit halfway through. Opabinia used its claw snorkel to grab food and shove it into its mouth like a flexible chopstick. Scientists literally laughed when they first reconstructed it because it looked so ridiculous. Meganeura, the bird-sized dragonfly. Dragonflies today? Cute. Dragonflies 300 million years ago? 2.5-foot wingspan death machines. Meganeura was huge because oxygen levels back then were sky high, letting bugs grow massive. Imagine a bug landing on your shoulder and you're like, did a bird just land on me? Basically, Meganeura was the original helicopter drone. Thylacine, the cartoon jaw dog. The thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, looked like a dog, but with stripes like a tiger and a jaw that could open 120 degrees wide. It was technically a marsupial, which means it carried its babies in a pouch, like a kangaroo mixed with a wolf mixed with... What even is this? Sadly, it was hunted to extinction by the 1930s, and now people swear they still see them in Tasmania, kind of like Bigfoot, but with better evidence and worse PR. Megalodon, the shark that ate whales for breakfast. Great white sharks scare people today, but Megalodon makes great whites look like goldfish. It grew up to 60 feet long and had teeth the size of your hand. It literally preyed on whales like they were chicken nuggets. Megalodon is why whales probably have anxiety in their DNA. Scientists think it went extinct due to cooling oceans and competition, but let's be honest, if Megalodon was still around, half the population would refuse to go near the ocean, ever. Brontoscorpio, the sea scorpion with attitude. Brontoscorpio was a giant sea scorpion, about a meter long, with pincers like bolt cutters and a stinger that could ruin your day. The worst part? It could walk on land. That means ancient shorelines had scorpions the size of Labradors just hanging out. Nope, just nope. Andrewsarchus, the what even are you beast, discovered in Mongolia. Andrewsarchus looked like a wolf crossed with a pig and then supersized to rhino proportions. Its skull alone was 3 feet long, and its jaw could crush bones like potato chips. Scientists still argue about what it was related to: wolves, hippos, or maybe nightmares. Titanoboa, the Jurassic Park reject. Snakes are already divisive. You either think they're cool or you move houses if one shows up in your yard. Now imagine a 42-foot-long snake weighing over a ton. That was Titanoboa, which appeared after the dinosaurs died out. It likely spent its days lurking in swamps, silently waiting for something to wander too close, and then constricting it with the power of a freight train. Crocodiles? Snacks? People? Lucky we weren't around. Pikaia, your awkward ancestor. Pikaia was one of the first chordates, meaning it's technically one of our distant ancestors. It looked like a squiggly eel with tiny tentacles and no obvious features, but it had the beginnings of a backbone. Without Pikaia, you wouldn't be here. So if anyone ever says you're weird looking, just say, it runs in the family. Quetzalcoatlus, the flying giraffe. With a wingspan of 36 feet, Quetzalcoatlus was basically a flying giraffe. It walked on all fours like a demonic heron and likely fed on small dinosaurs. Some scientists think it could launch itself into the air like a giant bat. Others think it had to jump off cliffs like Batman. Either way, imagine looking up and seeing a giraffe-sized shadow flying overhead. Terrifying. Wintotherium, the vegan tank. Wintotherium looked like a rhino, but with 6 weird bony knobs on its head and giant saber teeth, even though it ate plants. It's like it evolved an entire medieval weapons set and then said, "Don't worry, I'm vegan." Glyptodon, the armored car that eats grass. Think armadillo, then add a literal tank shell and make it car-sized. That's Glyptodon. They were so armored that predators likely didn't bother, and their tails had spiked clubs that could shatter bones. Herbivore, yes, but also an ancient wrecking ball on legs. Anomalocaris, the shrimp UFO. Anomalocaris was an early ocean predator with grabbing appendages and a circular mouth lined with teeth like a pineapple slicer. It grew up to 3 feet long, making it the great white shark of its time. It swam fast and ate trilobites, which back then were basically the cockroaches of the ocean. Scientists agree it looked like an alien spaceship built by shrimp. Diprotodon, the uber wombat. Diprotodon was the largest marsupial ever, basically a wombat the size of a small car. It grazed in ancient Australia, and yes, people probably tried to ride it. Did it let them? Probably not. It weighed over 2 tons and could probably crush you just by sitting down too fast. Elasmosaurus, the Loch Ness prototype. Elasmosaurus was a marine reptile with a neck 46 feet long. That's longer than some buses. It likely used its long neck to sneak up on schools of fish while keeping its massive body out of sight. If Nessie were real, this would be its great-great-grandparent. Xenacanthus, the freshwater eel shark. A prehistoric freshwater shark with an eel-like body and a weird spine on its head that pointed backward like a unicorn horn gone wrong. It survived for over 200 million years, proving looking weird sometimes works. Macrauchenia, the camel that wasn't. Macrauchenia had the body of a camel, the neck of a llama, and a short trunk like a tapir. It looked like an animal designed by committee. Scientists still aren't sure what it's related to, but it definitely would have been meme material today. Dodecurus, the spiky wrecking ball. Related to Glyptodon, Dodecurus had a huge armored tail ending in a spiked club the size of a bowling ball. It probably used it to defend itself and maybe even fight other Dodecurus like medieval knights. Megalania, the Komodo dragon's buff cousin. Megalania was a giant monitor lizard from Australia, over 20 feet long and likely venomous. Basically, a Komodo dragon on steroids. If humans were around, meeting one would be a very short and terrifying experience. Ambulocetus, the walking whale. Ambulocetus was basically a crocodile-sized early whale with legs. It could walk on land and swim, proving whales started life as beach tourists before going full aquatic. Terror birds, The apex chickens. For millions of years after the dinosaurs, giant flightless terror birds ruled South America. They were 10 feet tall, fast runners, and had hooked beaks that could crush skulls. They looked like someone modded an ostrich in a video game and turned off gravity limits. If you've watched to this point, slam that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This helps us to rank better in the YouTube algorithm.